As part of my 21 Things for Administrators class, I'd like to share a screencast with you today that talks about some Web 2.0 items that schools are currently struggling with and kind of my take on it. And then I'd like to share some resources that might help you out with these things. The first is the Acceptable Use Policy, or AUP. Updating the AUP can be a real project for many school districts with limited resources. Typically, a principal or tech person saddled with the job of updating the old AUP, and oftentimes some important items are left out. These could include how the district will handle social networking, cyberbullying, cyber safety, and portable mobile use. Best practice includes looking at several examples of AUPs from other entities, consulting with your legal representation, and hopefully a discussion of a committee made up of a cross-section of the organization, possibly even including students. There are some great resources uh, for sharing AUPs. One that I wish I'd known about a year or so ago when Lenawee ISD was revising their acceptable use policy is School AUP 2.0. It's a wiki. It's got lots of sample AUPs, and it looks like all of these hot topics, or most of them at the very least, are covered in there. Another one, or another site that I'll share with you, is iSafe. Actually, several of the web pages I'll share with you today are iSafe pages, but they've got a nice acceptable use policy. It's information on acceptable use policies. The second topic I'd like to talk about is social networking. It's quickly become a hot topic for schools. Just a year or two, schools are debating on how to best block social networking sites, and now some of these same districts are successfully using these tools to market themselves. Keeping the content appropriate for students is still a constant conversation. In my opinion, we'd be doing ourselves a favor by teaching students how to safely navigate the internet instead of blocking it from them. Fortunately, many teachers do not feel they have the knowledge base to give students the tools they need to surf the web responsibly. iSafe, again, has a good resource on peer-to-peer networking, as you can see here. And there's also a nice article about how to make social networking work for your school at Mashable Social Media. The title of this one is How Schools Can Use Facebook to Build an Online Community, and I know several schools in Lenawee County that are currently doing that. Cyberbullying and sexting is another topic that schools in many cases hope to avoid by blocking or removing from their system through policy enforcement. Many schools ban mobile devices with the hopes of minimizing distractions and the chances of cyberbullying or sexting occurring during school hours. It's easy to point the finger back at the students and say, we wouldn't have this problem if you stayed off your phone like you were supposed to. Unfortunately, it still happens, and whether the school staff want to admit it or not, it becomes a school issue. Whether the bullying occurs or explicit pictures are transmitted during school hours, or if it happens after hours, they still come back to school the next day, and we still have to deal with the impact that it had on these students. These issues could be greatly reduced through a strong cyber safety curriculum. And I've got three sites that I'd like to share with you there. Stopbullying.gov. This is a really nice article on sexting, and its intended audience is educators and parents. And then there's a Cyberbullying Research Center. I mentioned cyber safety a couple times already today. I think if we focus more on that, many of these other topics would kind of disappear or become much less of an issue. If our students were more knowledgeable how to surf the web and the potential pitfalls, many of these issues would be reduced substantially. Some good sites I found on that are Connect Safely. This is a really nice site with lots of safety tips and advice. And again, iSafe's got a nice, this is just their main web page. They've got tons of information in this area. Oops. Let me go back to that iSafe one. The last topic I'd like to talk about is portable mobile use. As I said earlier, many districts are spending their time trying to outlaw these devices while struggling to keep 5- or 6-year-old computers working in the classroom. In fact, just 2 years ago, I had a district in Lenawee County ask, how can we block cell phone signals in our building? It's not uncommon to see a student with a portable device with more computing power than the the computers that they use in their labs at school. If teachers begin taking advantage of these portable computers the students are currently hiding in their lockers or backpacks, schools could really open up some new learning for students, and that could be tied to the cyber safety piece as well. Of course, responsible use would need to be a large part of the equation, and I found a couple good articles on the pros of cell phone use in schools. The first one is lovetoknow.com, and then the second one is from Rebecca Richards, Suite 101, and she's got a nice article on the benefits of cell phone use in classroom. Well, that's what I had for you today. I'll post this in my wiki along with the school improvement videos, and also post the links to these websites there as well. Thanks for listening.